may come out of my mouth. With a wish for all beings to be free. Free of the, oh dear, I almost said nastiness. I don't mean that. Free of the, well, constriction and contraction caused by held belief systems and thought patterns. Free of the automatic reactivity of learned and held emotional patterns, and free of the isolation and suffering caused by distorted perceptions. I will always go for refuge with the support of my lineage to a live, vibrant, radiant, spacious awareness until awareness is ongoing, like the flow of a river. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the presence of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, of any lineage or none, and any time or beyond time, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all. As long as space remains, as long as beings remain, may I manifest in such a way to ease and dispel the miseries in the universe. I believe it's Garchen Rinpoche. In his center, he has a history from Tibet, obviously, and from being taken and placed in Chinese prisons. And he says repeatedly, and hands this out, and it's free on his website, his translation and commentary of the 37 practices. Anything, and says that that is really the only thing that is needed, ever. But he teaches a lot of other things because people want them. 37 practices, as far as they touch my heart. They help to open a lot of things, or not things, but tend to make me a little more expansive in the heart, and are a direct reflection of methods to recognize Bodhisattva as it really is. Not anything to do with, I need to save you, or I need to. Anytime I say I have stepped on a duality. And that is not to say there is no being here in this body. We won't get into that today unless you have a burning desire. Anytime I say this is and this isn't, I've created a duality. So I'm much more comfortable now and open to questions without needing to find a concrete answer. And it's very freeing. The reason I bring that up, and it's because I know a lot of people are struggling with some of the things going on in the world today. A lot of people are struggling in the US. I'm sure there are a lot of people struggling everywhere. And it's very easy to fall into that trap of duality. I'm right and they're wrong. I need to fight. I need to whatever. And there is that trap of duality again. Every being has Buddha nature. We've been told that again and again and again, which means every being is interconnected, interdependent. No individual separate arising. Huh. And one of the ways that's pointed at is to really look at where did you start, the you that thinks you're a you, an independent individual. You didn't even have probably any role in your creation. I can't say that for sure. But generally, it takes a sperm and an egg joined. And in that sperm and egg are all the ancestors of the being whose sperm and egg came together to make you. When you start to really rest into where did you start, I'm not really all tight about reincarnation or any of that. Did you have a choice? Heck, I've told you, I think my grandson believes that. I asked him one day how he lucked out to get the big sister he has, which she's so loving with him. And he said, oh, uh, there's a time when you're in your mom's belly. It's only 10 seconds. He was 5 when he said that. He's 6 now. It's only 10 seconds. But in that 10 seconds, you can jump into somebody else's belly. And he said, and I chose mom's belly. I said, okay, that's as good an explanation as anything I have. I thought it was wonderful. We're so creative. He also is sad sometimes because he says before he went into a belly, all the babies that ever were, ever are, and ever will be are all together. And he said, I miss all the other babies. It was wonderful to be there. Is that true? I have no idea. It's as good a story as any, and it's kind of a nice one, I think. So whatever we hold on to as an absolute truth probably isn't. But isn't it wonderful to hear other ideas and be open to whatever anybody says, not to have to agree with it? So how do we do this? Because we are poked and prodded and manipulated in all kinds of ways. We are encouraged to take sides, always. What's the right thing? What's the right thing for you in this moment? What does your heart tell you when it's open? So as we do Chenrezig, which I think personally is the most important thing we can do at this time, and maybe any time, but I'm a little partial. I actually don't really care if you believe in Chenrezig or how you believe in Chenrezig, as long as in some way our time together we get to relax a little bit and our heart can be a little bit more open. A lot of stress right now. What should I do? Quick story. There's a autobiography of Chogden Rinpoche, who's a well-known Lama in many places. And he decided to come west. And he taught a lot of people and appointed a lot of Lamas in his lineage. And he asked his teacher before he came west, he said, I think I'm going to do this and be a teacher and go see what I can do. What do you think? And his teacher said, the greatest gift you can give is to, I'm not going to get the words perfectly, so you can look it up, but basically is to not to go out there and become a teacher, but to Open your mind wherever. No, that's not it. I don't want to use the word stay and retreat because it sounds like a withdrawal. But his teacher recommended that I'm going to let you fill that in, that he stay exactly where he was. And that would be of the most benefit. He did not choose to do that, which happens a lot with teachers and students, despite what's said about absolute obedience. And I never understood that until recently. And now I think I can feel it a little more. If you are one of those fortunate people who does not sway with the currents of the culture or the anger or the whatever, and you simply are always open-hearted, with unlimited, unconditional love. And I use the word love loosely. Openness. It does not exclude joy, love, grief, anger even. Then by all means, walk around in the world with that presence. And I'm not recommending that anybody go into retreat for the rest of their life. That's not what I'm saying at all. What we can do is to not try to fix everything and to respond to what arises to do. One last story and we'll jump in. This is from a series of teachings by Ken McLeod, who swears he's retired, but he has a very interesting retirement. And he talks about if you know you're dreaming, maybe many of you have had that experience where you are dreaming and you know you are. And he said, and you know you're dreaming, and in that dream, you come across somebody who is suffering and needs help. You're very aware you're dreaming. What do you do? And maybe it's his group of people that come to him. He says, everyone, without one exception, ever says, well, you just offer them help. He says, well, why would you do that? You know you're dreaming. You know they're not real. Why would you do that? And he said, every time people say, it's just what you do. It's just what you do. Thought that was pretty interesting. You respond to what's in front of you. Many of us get all twisted up about, but what's the right response? Unfortunately, there's no answer to that question because there's no one right answer. The more we can relax and open our hearts, the more likely a natural response that's not a reactive emotion or based on a thought pattern or a belief system, the more likely we are to respond. But to the minute we stop to think, oh, wait a minute, what's the right thing? You know, all that argument that's gone on about if somebody's begging for money and you figure, you shouldn't make an offering because they're going to use it for drugs or alcohol. And that's going to be, and on this argument goes, I don't have an answer to that. What in that moment is your response without the thought of, okay, now wait a minute, is this the right thing? And how do you tell the difference between a response and a reaction? By a quick check of ourselves is the only way I know. Maybe not even then, I don't know, because that's again, maybe without thinking. Is there a voice going, you need to do this? Is there a tightness of the belly that says, I'm not doing that? Is there, you know, that's so many, and I've been this person, and I can still be this person that says, I can't open to all the suffering in the world. It's too much. And then the question is obvious to me. It's too much for who? For me. This me. Well, then why don't I add Chenrezig and any figure Kuan Yin? No, for all I know, Mother Mary. I don't have any limitations. And there are no limitations on the number of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, including yourself. Maybe not in this moment, but in some time in time. It's endless, limitless number of beings. So if I can't open my heart, which sometimes I can't, that's just honest, I can call on them. Thus, why I feel Chenrezig so important right now and always, to remind me that I am not in this alone trying to save the world. I would fuck it up so badly. Pardon my language. With the best of intentions. You know that saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions? Yeah. Oh, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to get back up and do the best we can. That's about all anybody can ask. But in starting today, however you want to start is fine by me. Whether you want to remember a time or call up a time when you felt loved, just for a second. There are beings who never have that second. Think about that for a moment. We may feel we had a hard upbringing, we may feel, but somewhere, sometime, because we have the space to be here for one thing. Wasn't there a moment of either feeling open-hearted? Well, the words are not great. Open, connected, just for an instant. So we can rest back into that memory as it arises in this moment to allow our heart to relax a little bit. Or take a breath in and a breath out to sort of shift our normal self-focus. And for this moment in time, we can be the Buddha, the Bodhisattva that we've been told we are. And we can rest as that in this moment without labeling ourselves. Or we can think of a hike and a sunset when we felt everything in, there's not even a word for it. Everything's okay, basically. Not fighting against anything, not pushing anything away, not trying to grab anything, just there. It isn't to me that if we fully realize Bodhisattva, we're going to run around, have to do even more to try to save the world. If we are Chenrezig in this moment, without his oops of trying to save the world, clearing everybody out of the hell realms. So happy that he saved everybody. Then looked up to see them all falling back in again, and threw himself on the rocks, themselves, herself, no gender specific here, and broke into 1,000 pieces. And I love the story because Chenrezig in form could not save all the beings. Couldn't do it. And it broke his heart. And he broke into those 1,000 pieces. And I believe it was Amitabha walking along that went, oh, goodness me, and put him back together again with 1,000 arms, which is just a symbol, and maybe some pity on Tonka makers, not to put infinite arms. 1,000 arms. And so that he would be able to respond. But there's an eye of wisdom on every single hand of those 1,000 arms to respond to what actually was needed. We may have a wish to save all beings. There is no such thing as a single being to be saved. Just let that rest there for a minute without trying to figure it out. But there is responsiveness. We are not going to fix samsara. That doesn't mean that we don't move our path. Nope. That we can't find ways to let our heart and mind, same place for a Tibetan. Mind doesn't mean brain to a Tibetan. Heart mind, big mind, open mind, whatever you can't describe. Then there isn't so much of an I worrying about what I should do, what's the right thing to do. There's simply responsiveness. What, you think a bodhisattva walks around going, I'm a bodhisattva? I certainly hope not. No. Oh, you know that clever play of words that they do in sports? They said, there's no I in team. No. Yeah, no. Okay, well, we'll just do, there's no I in Buddha. How's that? But you can't make yourself go away. You're in form. So what do? We rest together for a moment. Whether we imagine in this moment we are Chenrezig, we don't have any limitations. Our hopes and our fears don't overwhelm us. We're simply open in this moment to whatever arises. We don't all have an eye of wisdom on our palm, but as we start today, yes, we do. And that's interesting. And as Chenrezig, there may be a sensation of warmth, openness, a wave of whatever that is that we call sometimes love and attach to somebody and try to grab onto it. Just a wave, warmth, light. After all, Chenrezig put back together again is made of light. You are made of light. You are Chenrezig. How could you be anything else? We're just Chenrezig with a little mud on our light. As we rest as Chenrezig, there may be a warmth in our heart chakra, heart area. Please don't get all hung up on where it is or what causes it. Wherever that sensation arises, that's your heart, it's your chakra. Maybe a sensation in that area, or you may find in this moment that your whole body is that sensation. And as you, maybe not you, as there's relaxation, there may cease to be a sensation of inside or outside. Where is the limitation of light? Where's the limitation on where light radiates? As that, imagining or being in this moment, 1,000-armed Chenrezig, we can allow 1,000 rays of light, pure, unbounded, unlimited aliveness as it really is. Allow those 1,000 rays to shine. Well, don't even have, we can hold them in, I guess, but they will naturally shine out into the universe. In this practice, touching 1,000 beings. What a relief for 1,000 beings to be able to relax, to be able to allow that sensation without boundaries or limitations, actually without limits within time, without a sense of time. And as they relax, their natural radiance begins to shine out, and we have 1,000 rays of light from 1,000 beings, touching a whole nother thousand, don't do the math on me, beings. So they can finally, for a moment at least, relax. And rest into what is. And in that deep relaxation, again, 1,000 rays of light are freed to radiate out into the universe, touching 1,000 beings. If you want to invite in sound, the sound of the mantra, how about we invite it in as ourselves, yourself, as Chenrezig, singing the mantra with the vibration, another, again, wave that has no limits on how far it travels. If you, as Chenrezig, want to let it ride the light waves. That'd be a nice image for many of us. And within sound, we can feel sensation of vibration. You can feel it in your body as you produce sound. What is the sound of the natural vibration of open-heartedness? We use the mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. Chenrezig, you simply may feel the sensation of the vibration of sound as you sing your mantra, without an inside or an outside. The vibration itself rides the light waves, rays. Very vibration of life. Without limit. Perhaps as Chenrezig, we will naturally add the intention that those vibrations encompass, interact, join with all the beings that are now relaxed and whose light rays are naturally shining. So that all beings can feel the touch, the aliveness we share with all other beings. Vibration, no words will describe. And the rays continue with the sound, vibration, perhaps smell, perhaps touch, perhaps taste. No idea. They would be all smells, all touches, all tastes, until there is nothing other than light, sound, vibration. We are Chenrezig. We are light, sound, vibration, interconnected. And we can rest here again and again and again. Not I looking at light, sound, vibration. There is no thing other than sound, light, vibration. As Chenrezig, we may imagine as we sense our form, another form that is nothing other than sound, light, and vibration, coming up and striking us. or yelling at us or doing anything at all to us. They cannot affect who we really are. Oh, they will affect our form in the moment, no doubt. We haven't recognized what we are fully yet. But for a minute, we are Chenrezig. How will we respond? Is there any damage that could possibly be done to this light, sound, and vibration? Might we in a moment perceive the confusion and tension of another being who has not realized? Might we be able to respond as open-hearted, open-minded, unlimited, boundless light, sound, vibration? How would this look? There's no way to describe. Might we be fierce? If that is what the responsiveness was, the eye of wisdom responded that way. It doesn't mean we go around being, oh, nice. I need to be so nice to you. It means we are kind because that's who we are. That's who you are. And kindness can be in any possible form, but it is never in reaction of self-protectiveness. We're going to do that. Don't try to get rid of that. It's going to happen. Just notice it, the difference between this experience for a moment, perhaps, of being Chenrezig. How you might respond, as opposed to being this individual that we hold so precious and protect so much, and will respond reactively, self-protectively. Not right or wrong. We can remember again and again who we really are. We can take the time to rest again and again in who we really are without in any way denying or keeping our own self-protected, confused being, trying to deny them and push them away. How would we greet ourselves? This might sound strange, but as Chenrezig, when we are confused and reactive and self-protective, which we will be, until there becomes such a certainty, such a knowing, not intellectual, that we are this open-heartedness. We are this, and so is every other being. We might start to feel in our own bodies what Chenrezig may have felt as she repeatedly saw beings causing their suffering because of not realizing There is no thing to protect. There's only the responsiveness that occurs naturally. And that could break our heart, as it broke Chenrezig, to see that suffering and to not be able to end it for all beings. We can let our heart break if we are the essence of Chenrezig, if we are light, sound, vibration, without limitation. Might our broken heart allow the potential to recognize that? As Chenrezig breaking allowed the arising of true bodhicitta. Can't make that happen. And for heaven's sakes, we need probably most of us to stop judging ourselves so harshly. It's a way of denying our true nature. To continually judge ourselves and try to be better. How can you be better than Buddha essence? Our job is job. All we need to do is recognize it. Easier said than done, huh? How many teachings point at this? 84,000? It's just a really big number. There's almost infinite teachings in every moment that point this way. Wow, infinite teachings in every moment? Yep. What? Yes. I don't think you can hear the birds chirping. They're all excited because there's some food outside. And there's a tree for them to sit in and come down and they can hide and be safe and come down and get some food and go back. Every moment is so full of life. Humans are, and we're difficult for ourselves, so I imagine many of us are difficult for ourselves. And as long as we're difficult for ourselves, those we perceive outside us are going to sometimes be difficult for us. If you can, take some quiet time. Turn the television off for one night. Take a walk in the woods, if you can. Open your awareness to everything around you. Do you recognize the walls in your house are moving? There is no thing static in form. Every form is moving. Not all woo-woo, like, woo, I can walk through the wall. Well, if that's your goal, you can probably manage it. I'm not really sure what the benefit of it is, but everything moving and changing in every moment. and human realm holding on for dear life to try to make something hold still. You are Chenrezig. Please don't forget that. Or when you do, allow Chenrezig, whatever you perceive as that complete openness, relaxation of the heart, perhaps. I don't know what to call it. Invite that in from your teacher, from Chenrezig. I forgot again. Please help me. May my mind-heart stream merge with yours. Find a moment of rest. In that moment of rest, please notice you are not alone. And to me, this takes very great courage. All of these thoughts, feelings, and perceptions that we've built up to protect this individual, not intentionally, all these habits. When for a moment there is quiet, it can feel terrifying. If you find that, oh, what do I do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Oh, wait a minute, there's nothing. Whoa, hang on. There's nothing I need to do. There's nothing. Wait a minute. This resting is not as comfortable as it's cracked up to be. If you can remember in that resting, you are resting in the world of Chenrezig, in the mind stream of Chenrezig, in the mind stream of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, in the true nature of who you are. And I can say with absolute certainty, though I can't explain it, that feeling of loneliness, aloneness, isolation is an illusion created by a distorted perception. You can't make that change, but when you do rest in this openness, when it occurs, and it may occur naturally sometimes just for a moment, you may get uncomfortable and grab back for something to do, because in that moment there isn't a very solid I. If you have the luck or chance of falling into that quiet moment, may not recognize it in the moment, but the very moment you get that uncomfortable feeling, remember you're not alone. You're hanging out with all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of all time, which is every being. You can't become a Buddha. You are a Buddha, just a little confused and not able to recognize it. Oh, goodness, what funny words. Don't shit on your own Buddha-ness. Well, so much safer to think I'm just a jerk and I'm just a this and I'm not per. Oh, stop it. Just for a moment, stop it. You may notice that there's no ego here. There's no, ooh, whoopee, I'm a Buddha. That's funny. It isn't like that. because there's nothing to get. You didn't achieve anything if you're lucky enough to recognize who you really are, who all beings are. You didn't do anything great. You finally let go enough, or were able to let go enough through practices, through luck, through whatever, karma if you'd like, to recognize who you've always been. Vajra strong, unbreakable. To quote Lama Lena, unfuck-upable. Always present. Enough words, I think. Do a quick dedication. Join me if you want, or rest right where you are in this moment. Thank you all. I'm grateful for your being here so that we can share this time and support each other in the way things arise. May all beings have such opportunities, at least for a moment of relaxation in this moment. May all beings recognize what cannot be hurt, what cannot be destroyed. This without denying our very humanness. May we all keep walking together. Thank you.